I'm sharing how I went from waking up feeling miserable and stuck working in the corporate rat race to creating a life of freedom doing work I truly love. And I know that there's a lot of people out there waking up each day, going to jobs that just don't spark joy, just for a paycheck, and just don't know what to do about it. Trust me, I've been there, and I want you to know that you are not alone. So I'm sharing the top 5 tips that helped me navigate my way out of that environment. This is a video that I wish I had watched when I was feeling depressed and stuck sitting in my cubicle. Be sure to stick around right until the end because tip 5 is something that you need to know, and it's often just not talked about at all. As always, here's an overview on screen of the topics that we are covering in today's video. And in case we've not met yet, I'm Marielle Legair. I am a LinkedIn top voice, a speaker, an NLP coach, and my channel is all about personal branding, self-leadership, and well-being. So let's get into it. I felt compelled to share my story as I recently read an article in the UK's Guardian titled "The Soft Life: Why Millennials Are Quitting the Rat Race. Ambition once came with a promise, a home, a salary, progress and fulfillment. What happens when that promise is broken? Meet the women who are turning their backs on consumerism, materialism and burnout." And honestly, when I read that article, I did a silent cheer because as a millennial who quit the rat race and from feeling completely disconnected from my soul's purpose, I really resonated with the article, and I want to share with you what's possible when you truly bet on yourself, because I believe that really is the first step to creating any kind of change in your life. And I truly believe in working to live and not living to work. I relocated from London to New York in 2012 on a work visa, and I only knew one person when I moved there. I found myself very quickly in a sink or swim situation, and I'm actually going to do a separate video on how I manifested my London to New York move and also got my green card because it's a pretty epic story. But moving to New York, I got a huge culture shock. Walking down Fifth Avenue in Manhattan was literally like being in a movie. The city's energy was just infectious. If you've ever been to New York, you will know what I'm talking about. The possibilities felt endless. But soon, the harsh realities of corporate America began to set in. The city that never sleeps was also the city of endless work. Now, don't get me wrong, I do have a strong work ethic, but this was next level intense. A work culture that I had never experienced while working in the city of London. Long hours, emails, sometimes on the weekends, at 9 p.m. from my manager when I was trying to unwind from a full day, a lot of high pressure, and a relentless pursuit of more began to take its toll. The dream that I had been chasing really began to feel more like a mirage, and my manager would say really mean things to me like, "You have a high opinion of yourself," as if I'm meant to have a low one. I was working in such a toxic work environment, and I still remember looking around while I was sat in my cubicle at everybody, and everyone looked miserable. Nobody inspired me. Maybe you can relate. Now, I'm not someone who will just work for the sake of money because I truly believe that there's so much more to life, and I needed to feel invested because otherwise I would just get bored. I really just couldn't see a path forward. Thankfully, there were 5 key lessons that helped me navigate my way out of that environment. And here are the lessons. The first one is gratitude. Be grateful for your current situation, even if it's not the ideal situation right now. Instead of saying, "Why is this happening to me?" ask yourself, what is this situation trying to teach me? Because no experience is ever wasted, and there's always a lesson if you look for it. For me, during my New York chapter, for instance, I had to learn to advocate for myself and use my voice because as an introverted British person working in fast-paced culture like New York, it was very much a make or break situation for me. But looking back, I am so grateful for all of those character building experiences because I learned so much. Tip 2 is to build your skills up. We get paid for the value that we bring to the marketplace, and you're going to need to stack certain skills to be able to create a life on your terms. And during my time in corporate America, I remember a senior partner at the company had become my mentor. He said to me, mutual usury. The company is using you for your labor, but what can you get out of them? That question lit a fire in my head and in my belly. I literally no longer saw myself with an employee mindset where I was working solely head down, working in my job, clocking in and clocking out. I got strategic. I started playing chess, not checkers, and I started really working on my visibility and developing key skills that I knew would serve me later on. I started investing in personal development like never before. I joined Toastmasters to improve my public speaking skills because I remember reading that Warren Buffett, the billionaire investor, famously said, the fastest way to increase your value by 50% is to get good at public speaking. And since you're always selling your ideas, whether it's at work, in a meeting, or as a business owner, speaking is such a key skill to master. I also enrolled in a weekend copywriting course at NYU. Any training that was available, I took it. I stayed ready, so I didn't need to get ready. So what are some key skills that you can focus on developing right now while you are in your current role? Key skills that I feel everybody needs to master are marketing, sales, and financial literacy. Tip 3 is to network well and often, because every opportunity that you desire is going to come from someone else. So do the right people know about you right now? It's not enough just for your manager to know about the impact you're making, because what if they leave the company or the department? Who else knows about how amazing you are? Who else can vouch for you when you're not in the room? Have you taken the time to build your board of advisors? These are people who can help guide your path, and they should be a mix of mentors, sponsors, and peers in your industry. Tip 4 is to get a coach. I invested in a career coach for the first time, and she really helped me get unstuck because she helped me identify my key values and my key strengths. I had no idea what they were before working with her. And I realized that we are not meant to go it alone. It's very hard to get unstuck by going it alone. And we did a really powerful exercise together, which is called the Ideal Day exercise. I'm gonna do a whole nother video on that, but trust me, it was so powerful because we identified that my personality type is not meant to work in a highly structured, bureaucratic environment because my key values are freedom and autonomy, because that's part of the reason why I felt like a cog in a wheel, because I wasn't meant to be there in the first place. It only took me over 10 years to figure that out, but better late than never, right? So if you're feeling stuck, I encourage you to work with a career coach to help you map out your next steps. Tip 5, which is my favorite tip, and I would say is the most important, is to shift your identity. How would a person in full control of their life behave? What would their habits be? When I shifted my identity from having that employee mindset to an entrepreneur mindset, that's when things really began to change for me. I started doing the deep inner work to work on my limiting beliefs and stories that were keeping me stuck. In a 9-to-5, for instance, we're taught to put our head down and let our work speak for itself. This is career damaging advice. Trust me, the people getting ahead in your teams, in your department, they're not just doing that, they are working on building their personal brand. They're building relationships with the right decision makers. Oftentimes, we stay in places just for money. But remember, money is not in scarce supply. What is in scarce supply is the ability to think of an idea that will replace your current income. So carve out thinking time to focus on money-making ideas. Once I learned these 5 lessons, I was able to take full control of my narrative and started building a personal brand that reflected my true self, not just the expectations of corporate America, but one that aligned more with my core identity. I began to focus on what really made me unique, leveraging my experiences, skills, and passions to create a brand that really stood out. And I started sharing my knowledge through articles and connected with others who shared similar values to me. And that really helped me feel less alone as I was making this big change. Using these 5 tips, I was able to take full control of my path. Then I caught the attention of Yale University, and they invited me to speak at their annual women's conference, which was really, really exciting. A little nerve-wracking because it was also my first big speaking engagements. But after that, opportunities that I could never have imagined began to come my way. Freelancing, consulting, and more speaking opportunities, all because I decided to step out on faith and take action. And today I work as a keynote speaker and a workshop facilitator for global brands, and I absolutely love the work I do because it's so much more aligned with my core values and it enables me to make a huge global impact. If these tips resonate with you, I encourage you to explore your own path and how personal branding can help guide you to creating a life on your terms. Just pick one thing to work on that I've shared today. And remember to like, subscribe, and share your journey below in the comments because I want to hear from you. What changes are you planning to make after watching this video? Remember, life is happening right now and there is no reason to continue doing work that doesn't excite you forever. Thank you so much for watching. Until my next video, take care.